Hey, everybody. Welcome to another Playful Humans podcast. I'm your host, Mike Montague, and my guest this week is Kirby Hasseman. He is a man delivering marketing joy with his company and promotional products at hassemanmarketing.com. Go to the website and check that out. And if you're looking for Playful Humans, it's at playfulhumans.com. We're helping adults rediscover the power of play and, find more fun, flow, and fulfillment in your life. So do that at playfulhumans.com. Here we go. All right, there we go. That'll get us started. Kirby, we like to start with the joke of the week here on the podcast. The joke of the week is brought to you by Microsoft Office 365. I was thinking about buying Office 365 for Playful Humans here, but I consulted my Magic 8 Ball and it said Outlook not good.
I like that. That's pretty good.
An Outlook joke. I'll take it.
Yeah. I like it.
Also, the official joke is, did you hear about the couple that got married on a satellite dish?
I did not.
The ceremony was not so great, but the reception was amazing.
Okay.
There you go.
Like that. I like that. That's good.
That's how that's done. All right. Now, the first question for you is your book and podcast, Delivering Marketing Joy.
Yeah.
How did you pick the joy in that part? A lot of people delivering marketing these days, but I feel like the joy is the interesting part.
Yeah, no. So, I think that as I've been in the branded merch and marketing space for a long time. And I think where that kind of came from is that though we sell these products all the time and we work with people to hopefully create really cool experiences and hopefully create, marketing joy, we'd never actually termed that until one day we were actually planning an event for ourselves. And we were doing an end user show where we were going to invite all of our clients in. And what happened then all of a sudden is we started getting some of the branded merch to our office. And there was like a different, t-shirts were one day and pens were another. And then, there was just all kinds of different cool giveaways. And every day when the new box came in, literally the whole team would like, oh, there's something else coming. And our suppliers were being super generous. So they were doing some stuff and we didn't always know what it was going to be. And so like the whole group would go out and, we'd open the box and it was like a little piece of Christmas morning. And, that was kind of when we said, you know what, if we do this right, this is how our customers and their customers are experiencing this. And it does become a piece of joy. It's a piece of Christmas morning. And it also gave us once we did that, it gave us a place where we're like, okay, if we're doing this right, with what we do, nobody dies on the table, right? This should be fun, right? And so if we do, the imprinting right and it's delivered on time, well, then that part is joyful. But then the other piece is then it shaped how we tried to work with our clients. It's like, well, we better be joyful. We better be kind. We better be like, it really made us start thinking about the whole transaction all the way through the process. And I knew I had something, and you'll appreciate this, Mike, when all of a sudden my employees started using it as a comeback to me, where they'd be like, well, wait a second, Kirby, I don't think this delivers marketing joy. And I'm like, oh, okay. So now that you're throwing it up in my face, I think that we actually have a mission worth chasing. And so that's kind of been our mission, is like, okay, let's do something.
I love it so much. I don't know. We haven't talked about this much. I was on your podcast, Delivering Marketing Joy, so people should go check that out. If you're a fan of podcasts, definitely find his. But I was in the promotional products business for like over 3 years. And before that, I was the prize guy for the radio station. So I was giving away all of the loot and swag and free t-shirts that we could for the radio stations. I gave away literally thousands and thousands of t-shirts.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to add it up, it would probably be in the like 20,000 t-shirt range. And,
it's fun though, right? If done right, it's really good.
It's total joy when people would play a Plinko game, or we had a big slot machine thing that if
Yeah.
it matched up the radio station logos, you won a t-shirt. And
Perfect.
people would line up like just miles at concerts and stuff, or, car dealerships, whatever it happened to be, grocery
Yeah.
stores that I was at. And people would do a lot. I found like the value of a good t-shirt
Yeah.
is almost priceless. Like people will do crazy stuff just
Well,
for a free t-shirt, but it's so much fun.
yeah, and the video I always come back to is like when there was like it was like a New Jersey Nets game like 10 years ago, and Sir Paul McCartney is jumping up and down to try and get a t-shirt. And I'm like, if one of the Beatles is that excited for a free t-shirt at a New Jersey Nets game, then I think maybe there's value to it. Just maybe.
Absolutely. And yeah, like obviously they can buy the t-shirt later,
Yes,
or he
that's
can
right.
at least, and things, but it is something about delivering it. And being in the promotional products business too, I found it really fun that
Mhm.
we were making cool stuff that lived on. So I did the Jiffy Lube early bird special banner, and I
Nice,
can
nice.
still drive by a Jiffy Lube like anywhere in the world and be like, oh, I made that one,
Yeah.
or any type of thing. Like there's something about a physical product,
Mhm.
especially in our digital age now. So
Yeah.
this was 12 years ago for me, or 13 years ago now, but I still have things around that I find that coffee mug that
Mhm.
it's got like the faded logo now because it's 15 years old,
Right.
and stuff from the radio stations. And you're like, there's something
Mhm.
tangible about this thing that it sits on somebody's desk day
Mhm.
after day, year after year. That's way more powerful than any Facebook ad you could
Yeah.
spend, right? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh, for sure. And again, nothing against Facebook. I use Facebook advertising, but at the end of the
Yeah,
day, it
we're
does
live on
it
Facebook right now.
right
You can
now,
type a
right?
comment in the chat.
Yeah. No, but so a couple things. Number one, it does create a lasting impression. That is like you kind of talked about that. But the other thing I love about it, kind of two things. Number one is it can take you back to a place. We've all got that concert t-shirt, that that specific coffee mug that you got. Or like I think back to it was back in, believe it or not, I remember the year. It was in 2004. I was actually given an award for salesperson of the year with the company I was in, and they gave me a watch. And I wore that watch for 15 years. And every time I like put it on or whatever, it really did take me back to the day on the trip where I was, how I felt. It done right, branded merch can take you back. And and the other thing I would say about uh, done right, promotional products, branded merchandise, they can affect human behavior. And I think that's what I love working with clients to help them do that. Whether that's, driving somebody to your new website or to your actual physical location, or honestly, like we work with a lot of folks in HR or safety where it's just like, we just want people to do things safely or, attend a wellness
Yeah.
seminar, but done right, a piece that's not crappy. you know, our mutual friend Danny Rosen would call it brand fill, right? The stuff that is cheap and crappy. No, that isn't going to affect any human behavior. But done right, it really can make people do the things that we know that they should do. And I think in those moments, it not only is it fun, but it actually creates a positive impact across the world.
So awesome. And there's a lot I want to unpack here because Playful Humans, we're talking about playing for a
Mm.
living. And there's three things that come to mind here. And I'll let you pick the order. So we're going to do a
Okay.
little choose your own ending podcast here, Kirby.
Okay. I love it.
Number one, promotional product businesses are really like kind of your own sort of franchise model. Everybody
Mhm.
can buy the products, but it's like
Mhm.
you have to set up shop, make your own company and business, and
Mhm.
you have to find a way to express your voice through these products that anybody can get
Yep.
online anywhere. So you're turning a commodity into something special. Choice number two. I feel like that is the hard part of it, that
Mm.
promotional products that make noise stand out. You said they have some sort of quality or essence or playfulness that makes it more special than everybody's got a mug and a pen out at a
Mhm.
trade
Yeah.
show. You don't care. You picked up 5 other pens. What's really going to make a difference or make you remember that pen has to be something playful or special.
Yeah.
And then number three for me, you mentioned too, I feel like it's a products often relate to prizes. And I think there's like
Mhm.
a built-in gamification here that
Totally.
whether it's with your employees on a safety program or sales incentive, or
Mhm.
just you're wearing your logo merchandise
Mhm.
today, and I got my branded,
Yeah.
microphone stand,
Yep.
that there's some sort of affinity and magic that's created
Mhm.
inside a company culture or inside your community of clients. Three huge topics.
Yeah.
You get to pick which one spoke to you most.
Okay, so I think I'll go with the last one there, and I think that kind of the point of it is, and I'm not sure it was the last one in the middle one, but the one thing you said was everybody's got a coffee mug, everybody's got a pen, everybody's got a calendar, right? And I think that you're 100% right. And I think when you're not thoughtful about doing merch, then you can fall into the category of that brand fill, that throwing stuff away. On the other side, the good news, if you want to stand out, is a lot of people do that. It's 2 weeks before the event that they're going to, and they say, "Uh-oh, I need something to hand out." And generally speaking, that's when they come up with, not thoughtful, not intentional, kind of crappy giveaways. But if you are thoughtful and intentional, everybody's got a coffee mug. But if you give them one that's really, really cool, they'll throw away the one they're using and use yours. The same is true with your binder, your mouse pad, your calendar, whatever, right? But that takes being thoughtful and investing. But that's also true of every other marketing media you do, right? If you throw together a really crappy Facebook ad, you can do it really fast and you can spend a lot of money, but it doesn't mean it's going to be effective unless you've actually thought through the whole thing. And I think that that's true of any marketing sort of media that you jump into, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So let's take that to the second part of the question then, which is, how do you use products for the gamification and the prizes and to inspire change? Because I think that's what the magic is. Like if you print a bunch of pens, it doesn't matter, and a bunch of mugs. But if you put the pens in a mug and you set it on the receptionist desk at a dentist's office where they have to fill out the forms, those things are going to get used and seen a lot, not thrown in the trash. And people always steal the pens. And so they end up in somebody's pocket and back on their desk, and you're creating something. There's like a purpose for it. You're creating an action. And all the way to the extremes, I'm sure you have a favorite example of when there's that perfect like product promotion prize like fit. What makes something cool, special, or delivering joy?
Yeah. So I think it's funny because I think the same question is the same question as when I'm interviewing people on Delivering Marketing Joy, and they're saying, hey, you want to create a great digital marketing campaign? You got to know exactly who your customer is. What's that avatar? Who are they? What do they like? Well, the same thing is true with branded merch. One of my favorite questions to ask yourself is, where is your perfect prospect when they realize they need you? Where are they? Right? Reach them there. Right? And so I think that is the kind of moment when you actually create a product that is in the exact right spot at the exact right time. But the gamification. Do
you have an example? Because one came to mind. My favorite one I ever did was for a plumbing company. You could custom print on urinal screens, and they did them at like Arrowhead Stadium and the concert venues. So it says, like, call Joe the plumber. Well, you're standing there not doing anything but staring at this target. It was really a beautiful thing that I'll always remember. What about you?
Yeah, I think it's exactly right. I think of my problem is I think of a bunch, and it's really about the idea of, okay, if you are in the car repair business and you can hand out, doesn't have to be expensive, but those sticky calendars that tend to stick on people's dashboards, right? Especially in this, let's call this a couple years ago, but it's like, man, the moment I'm on the side of the road and I have that, the same is true with that plumber that you do the magnet wipe on, wipe off board that goes on everybody's refrigerator. Well, they're just in the right place at the right time. And so that is in that moment, there's, again, every pizza place in town, right? You don't have to overthink it sometimes, and it doesn't have to be expensive. The other example of the gamification side of it is I always think of nonprofits. The nonprofit side does this better than the for-profit side does sometimes, because you've seen United Ways or big capital campaigns where they're like, okay, if you donate $100 to this, you get this coffee mug. But if you donate $500, you get this T-shirt. And I don't know if that's gamification, but it is a way to incentivize people to do. And then if you give $500, you get all three or whatever. And what they've found is that the more that you tie things to a specific thing, not only does it increase the giving, but it also increases the affinity to the organization. So it's almost like it gets rid of buyer's remorse when it comes to donating, because now you have that piece that kind of reminds you of, hey, I feel pretty good about it. And so I love that because it is kind of near and dear to my heart, because we have an ability to make a difference.
Now, here's another one that I'm maybe not as quite up on. This could be a tough choice, but I feel
Okay.
like the magic these days is in personalization, that you can actually get
Totally.
one promotional product now. So,
Hmm.
especially for like a charity event came to mind, is like if you had an auction winner
Hmm.
and you put their face or their logo or their kids' names on something,
100%.
that's when things really get interesting. And I think people still think about often, or maybe just they default to buying 10,000 pens,
Mm,
but maybe one really cool custom shoe
yeah.
or something could change the game and be a lot more interesting. How do you think about really creating meaningful giveaways,
Mm.
either for employees or customers?
I love that you brought this up. I think you're 100%, 1000% spot on. And it's actually one, and this is a weird little caveat to the pandemic, is one of the things that I saw is that people during that time, everybody was working from home for a window there, and you're like, well, I'm not going to spend a $20 to ship this one pen, right? Because the pen is $1.25. I'm not going to spend $10 to ship it. So what people started to shift to doing is to doing nicer things, individual nicer things. And that's when we got back to the technology of saying, you know what, we should actually put their name on it. And it raised like the game of just all of branded merchandise. And people, it seemed like organizations all of a sudden were willing to spend that another dollar. And again, when you're already spending 25 on it, spend that extra dollar, and now it says Mike Montague on it. And nobody ever throws something with their name away, and especially if it's really nice. And so I think you're exactly right. And it's really, and the other piece I guess I would say is that the decoration technology has changed so that you can do it much easier, right? So even if it's whether it's I'm actually looking around my office because I have personalized stuff
Yeah,
all over the
examples
place,
all over it.
and it's really cool that the technology's changed so you can do the personalization side. But the other piece, and even this has changed since you've gotten out of the business, Mike, is more and more suppliers are making one piece minimums. Well,
Mm,
if there's a one piece minimum, then it's personalized.
yeah.
You just got to do one so you could put the logo, but also the name on it. Even though they don't offer it as personalization, you can still do it. So I think in doing those, when we think creatively, we can really create an experience that is one of a kind.
All right, now I want to shift to you personally a little
Sure.
bit. So the part three of my really long question was the promotional products business. I feel like
Mm,
it's a fun, playful thing to get in. On this podcast, we talk about people playing for a living, but promotional products is one that I don't think like kids know about or anything.
right.
So you don't grow
100%.
up in fifth grade dreaming about being a promotional products marketer. How did you get into it? How did you find it? And what do you love about this business that you keep doing it?
Yeah. So I think that if you look at our industry, 99% of our industry gets there by accident, right? Now,
Mhm.
I might be one of the few exceptions only because my parents were in it. So
Oh,
like,
cool.
yeah, so my dad was in the business, my mom was in the business. And so I actually did at least grow up being aware. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I was saying, I want to be a tennis pro or I want to sell pens, but I think that it, I did see my parents enjoying this business. So I was at least a little bit more drawn to it from an earlier age. And yeah, and by the way, one of the things you said earlier too is like we are in a business where there's 25,000 distributors across the country, and we all are selling the same product at this from the same suppliers at approximately the same price. And so, ironically, back to your playful humans thing is you have to figure out a niche because everybody's selling the same thing from the same price. So how do you stand out? And I think that the joyful piece of it is one of the ways that we go to market because it is fascinating to me how many people kind of live their lives in this space and are grumpy all the time. I'm like, dude, done right, this should be fun, right? And so we lean into that and there's funny pictures, we try to have fun on social media, and I find that the people who don't like that don't call us, and that's fine,
Yeah.
right? But the people who love it, they match up with our why. And so that's one of the ways that we stand out. And so I think that by being playful, being joyful, it really does become a separator. And I think that's true in business and in life.
Yeah, I think there's something inherently joyful about it. And like if you get 1,000 frisbees or hacky sacks delivered to your office, you can't not play with them, right? Like you have to bust open those boxes
Yes.
and take it for a spin. We were playing around. We made custom garbage cans for a local garbage collector,
So cool.
and we were messing around with it. And one of my coworkers fell out onto the floor, and when he fell out, he scared the woman in the next cubicle, and it made it on America's Funniest Home Videos. Like this made us like went a little viral back in the day
Back in the
with
day,
us
yeah.
just messing around with the products. And I think there is something inherently joyful about that. But that takes us to the question about your book. So
Oh, yeah.
we have Delivering Marketing Joy, we
Yep.
have Fan of Happy, and the Give First Economy, which we're going to practice right now. We're going to
Yes.
give it away first.
Yeah.
So if you go to hassemanmarketing.io/give first, you can get a copy of the book, which is cool. But tell us about these. How are these three different? What are the stories here and lessons that you felt you had to get out to the world?
Yeah, so Delivering Marketing Joy is one of my first books, and it is really just about how to do branded merch right, right? Like I think that because as you mentioned, people kind of end up in this space. I wrote it for like the person who is the new marketing person at a company, and they're now tasked with having to buy merch, and so that's where this came from. It's like, okay, here's how to do a trade show. Here's how to do direct mail right. Here's how to do all these different sections. But what's happened is it's become a training tool for people in our industry too. You're new to the industry. Hey, here's a book to read to give you the basics. And so that's where that came from. And it's a great tool for us just to kind of help prospects and customers go, okay, you've never done this. Here's some tips on, what to be thinking about. Fan of Happy is my favorite story. So Fan of Happy is a book I wrote for my daughters. So I have two daughters that are now 24 and 21. But as they went through their teenage years, what I found is they were not as excited to listen to my wisdom as I was to share it with them. And so,
What? I'm shocked.
I know, right? And so it was funny. I at one point was like, at some point though, they're actually going to care what I think about some of these lessons. So I just started writing them down in blog form, really. And so after I got about 50 lessons, I was like, I think there could be a book here. So that's what it's essentially 110 personal development lessons that I initially wrote for my daughters, but it applies to about anybody. And then the Give First Economy is my latest book. It is about my belief is that the best entrepreneurs, the best organizations, salespeople, whatever, the people who provide value, the people who give first up front are the ones who win long term. And so I kind of outlined what I mean by that and talk about some very tactical things that you can do that, as opposed to, when you say give first, what's that mean? And so I actually talk about giving joy, giving praise, and different ways to just provide value up front so that you build real relationships, because I think that's actually how business is really done.
Yeah, that's so cool. And I've seen so much. It reminds me of like the have you seen the banana ball people, the Savannah
Yes,
bananas?
Savannah bananas, they're amazing.
Love that
Yeah.
about, kind of a fans first mentality and giving it away. And I guess that takes me to my last question here, and then we'll play a game.
Okay.
I have a selfish one for you. I've already
Sure.
talked to you a little bit offline, but
Mhm.
I feel like a lot of people that listen to this podcast might be a magician, a juggler, a podcaster, a YouTuber, somebody like that. And I feel like when you said the word merch, I was like, ooh, everybody wants their own merch store.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to make money on this.
Yeah.
Do you have any wisdom, advice, tips, tricks, hacks for doing a merch store or for trying to make money on, designing your own t-shirts or something like that, or products?
Yeah. So I think a couple basic things that just pop into my head. So yes, the technology is there that you can do it now, and I think that's exciting. So it really does go back to who is the audience. Like I think so many times we're all media companies now, right? And so a really good media company looks to who their avatar is, who are they creating the content or, whatever it is for, and thinking about what would they like, what would the thing get them excited about to build the tribe. And so selecting products around that. Number two, don't go cheap. Like, and that's not as a salesperson thing. That is you are putting your imprint and it is your brand on top of this item, and it's going to carry on or it's not. And so if you're going to do a t-shirt, absolutely do a t-shirt, but do one that's cool. Like look through the eyes as a user, not as the seller. I think so many times we're like, okay, cool. I can get 100% cotton t-shirt and we're going to do a one color imprint and I'm going to slap my logo on it. Great. But nobody wants to wear that. Right. So what the big trend I'm seeing now is to create, yes, you've got your logo as a part of it, but maybe you put a quote that is consistent with your brand on it. Well, that's something I want to wear, right? Like the shirt I'm wearing today I really love it. It's a Callaway shirt, right? But it's a uniform, right? Because it's got my name on the left chest and it's perfect for what I'm doing today. But the t-shirt I'm wearing underneath it is not. It's got a message on it and it talks about being kind and giving first and working hard, right? I hand out that t-shirt and it's a really nice soft t-shirt. Everybody wants to wear it. People are offering to pay me for it. And I've got my logo right here. So it still has it, but it's not so in your face. So if you're going to do something like that, go quality because it's representing your whole brand. The technology piece of it, that's out there, but do something that's worth it. Seth Godin always says, if you want to be remarkable, you have to do something worth remarking about. And I think the same is true with merch. If you want to do it, do something well, do it right.
Love that. Second, all the advice. The other thing I would say is, it's not a, if you build it, they will come sort of scenario. So you can sell anything pretty quickly these days, but you're going to have to find an audience and stuff to direct to that. So I think it's a lot easier when you have something credible that people want to buy, but it's also way easier when you already have people paying attention to you. So I think I would still focus on marketing or how you're going to get people there before you focus too much on building out 103 products. Start with one really good one with an audience.
Point. That is super good advice. I love that, Mike.
All right. Are you ready to play a game?
Let's do it.
There we go. Nobody said no yet. We are going to do Survey Says. Pretty easy. We surveyed 100 people. The top answers on the card. You have to get one of the top answers.
Okay, I'll try.
Questions for you. First one, name a reason people give to their bosses when they ask for a raise. Why do you deserve a raise, Kirby?
Because I'm a hard worker.
Hard work is number one answer. Congratulations. Everybody else can play along in the chat if you want. Cost of living, inflation, big one right now for sure. You're taking on extra duties or longer hours, and then growing family. Growing family was the other.
Okay. All right. Those are good.
I don't know if that one's, the last one's very compelling, but people are like, hey, I got a kid now. I gotta, gotta grow up. Okay. Name a kind of pet you had during childhood that is not a cat or a dog.
Fish.
Fish is on there. That's actually number 3. Okay. Bird, number 1. Turtle, number 2. Hamster, guinea pig, all of those good ones. And rabbit also on the list.
Yeah.
All right. I think you've already won, but question number 3. Name a place where you keep a picture of your loved ones. I thought it'd be fun to have a promotional products question here.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. Where I keep a picture of my loved ones. I'm going on in my office.
That's good. Yep. Desk or on the wall up there at number 3. Photo album number 2. Wallet number 1. Wallet's still number 1.
Yeah, I was going wallet, but I'm like, it's 2023.
The survey was 2019, but that feels more like a 99 answer or something there.
Love it.
Living room, mantle, fireplace, computer would be, or phone would be a great answer. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah. You did it. You win. That means the podcast is yours. Any final thoughts, asks, or gives for the audience? Anything you can do to help us or we can do to help you?
Yeah, I mean, I would love it if people would go get the book. There's no cost or obligation to that. That would be the give piece. And then really what I wanted to say, Mike, was I just love what you're doing. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of it. And I will tell you that I think that the world does need more intentional playfulness, more intentional joy. And so you leading the way on this is really, really cool. And I'm an honor to be a part of it, man.
I love that. Find Kirby at HassemanMarketing.com. Kirby Hasseman, thanks for being on the show. If you want more information on Playful Humans, subscribe to this podcast right now on your favorite app. Also, check out Delivering Marketing Joy podcast. I was on that one recently, and it's a great show.
Thanks.
What else do you need to know? Oh, if you want to discover your playful personality, go to playfulhumans.com/quiz. It's a cool BuzzFeed style quiz where you can discover what type of play personality you are. Are you like the Joker? Are you an athlete? Are you a puzzle solver or deep thinker? Lots of different playful personalities there. Go check it out, playfulhumans.com/quiz. And that's it. I feel like if you can't be good at it. That's always something. My favorite quote from Steve Martin there is be so good they can't ignore you. Kirby shared some of those thoughts today as well. And go play. What are you doing sitting around watching videos, listening to podcasts? Get out there and move. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, man.